How does it go? He said those
without sin cast the first stone.
Yeah.
Wonderful story, beautiful story. The entire chapter is a later addition, doesn't exist in the earliest manuscripts that we have.
Then said Jesus, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
One of Jesus' most memorable lines is in Luke chapter 23, verse 34. It's found only in Luke. He's being nailed to the cross, and Jesus prays, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. But the verses are not found in some of our oldest and best manuscripts.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
That very famous passage, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So that many scholars think chapters 1 verses 1 through 18 were added to John after it had originally been published. Let me say something about the surviving copies of the New Testament. Today we have some 5,500 copies of the New Testament. Well, if we have 5,500 manuscripts, where are they found? When are they found? Well, 94% of our surviving manuscripts come from the 9th century and later. The 9th century and later. We have 5,500 manuscripts of the New Testament. It is striking that when you compare these with one another in detail, no two of them are exactly alike. No two of them are exactly alike.
To begin with, what we have to hold in our hands are around 5,700 Greek manuscripts of all or part of the New Testament. Believe it or not, no two of these manuscripts agree in all of their particulars. Possibly, it is easier to put the matter in comparative terms. There are more differences in our manuscripts than there are words in the New Testament.
Still, hundreds of years later, archaeology hadn't been developed. No. And so in 1611, when the King James Version was done, there weren't that many manuscripts. No. Maybe something like 20 or 30 Greek manuscripts for the New Testament were used for the King James Version, the Greek underlying it, and for the New Testament. As attested by thousands of Greek manuscripts. We have 5,000, more than 5,000 Greek manuscripts.
The Interpreter's Dictionary of the Bible, now this is obviously a Christian work, states, "It is safe to say that there is not one sentence in the New Testament in which the manuscript tradition is wholly uniform."
How many manuscripts of the New Testament do we have from the first Christian century? None. How many do we have from the early 2nd century? Say, manuscripts that clearly date up to around the year 150. We have one scrap. This is it. This may look big because it's a big screen. This is the actual size. How many complete manuscripts do we have from the 2nd and 3rd centuries? None. 0. How many differences are there exactly? So, scholars have wondered about this for over 300 years. Able to count them all. Some scholars say 200,000 differences. Some say 300,000 differences. Probably more accurately, 400,000 differences. It's easiest to put it in comparative terms. There are more differences in our manuscripts than there are words in the New Testament. And my very quick final third point, why can't scholars agree? For decades, scholars can't agree on what the original text is supposed to be.
A textual critic of the Bible attempts to do the same thing, which is to find the validity of biblical document, and so forth. So the textual critic basically does the best that they can do to derive what may have been the author's original thought when they wrote down the book.
And yet that is what we are told to do with the Bible. To trust our salvation to 4 Gospels, which were anonymous. We don't know who wrote them. We don't know precisely when they were written, and we don't know why they were written.
Because there are so many discrepancies that the Gospels are not reliable.
Among not the critics of Christianity, but among Christian scholars, are recognizing that the Bible does not stand up to the criteria necessary to call it unaltered, inerrant, divine Scripture.
What does it mean to say that God inspired the words of the text if we don't have the words?